Hi, welcome to Oma's Kitchen.
Oregano.
We're going to make a Caprese Salad style bruschetta, which is a mixture of tomatoes, mozzarella, basil, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and some spices. We're going to have that with crostini. In Italian just means small crusts or small toast. These are 2 baguettes that I purchased yesterday. It's great to have day-old baguettes for crostini because it toasts up really well. This is a wheat baguette, this is a regular baguette. We're going to slice those thin. We will have those with our bruschetta and some salami and a fruit tray, and that will be our dinner tonight. I was going to get 2 big pieces of mozzarella, fresh mozzarella, but I found these that are sliced instead. So that'll just shorten up the time it takes to cut the mozzarella into little bits. So we'll do that. I've got 4 nice tomatoes here. These are on the vine tomatoes, and I actually decided to do the bruschetta because I want to use these before they go bad. You can use Romas. This recipe actually calls for Roma tomatoes, but because I want to use up my on the vine tomatoes, we're just going to switch it up. A lot of times for this recipe I'll buy fresh basil and just chop it up into little bits and put it in. The store had none. So it has this lightly dried basil. We're going to try that. And you can also do dried basil. I'm going to add some dried oregano because I love the flavor of oregano anyway. Let's cut up the tomatoes first. So we're going to want about the equivalent of the amount of tomato to the amount of mozzarella. I'm not sure I'm going to use all of both of these. Whatever I don't include in this, we will use for another meal later this week. So let's see what we come up with once we cut all this up. And you want the size of the mozzarella pieces to be about the same size as the tomatoes. Make sure it's true balsamic from Modena. That's important. And the longer they age it, the sweeter it gets. Did you know that?
Yeah.
When they age it really, really long, like for years, it almost becomes like a syrup. And then we've got the olive oil. This is my favorite brand of olive oil. Mild. And I've got my tablespoon. Okay, so we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of balsamic, and yes, it will turn your mozzarella a little brown. That's okay. Flavor. Okay, so 2 tablespoons of balsamic, 2 tablespoons of this very mild olive oil. I love this. Okay. Oh, so pretty. Look at that. Now I'm going to open this lightly dried basil. We'll see what we have here. I've never used this before. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, look at that. So we'll do that. When we're completely done and we have this in our ramekins, we will actually sprinkle a little of this over the top then too. Let's do it. Yeah. So, not bad so far, as long as it tastes good. Let me try it. Yeah, that's okay. Tiny bit of onion powder, a little bit of salt. It's probably about a teaspoon, and maybe a little bit more on the salt. We'll see what it tastes like once we mix it up. And I like a little bit of oregano in there. I could eat oregano right out of the jar. So let's try mixing it up a little. And you'll see that dressing down on the bottom. Yeah, we're gonna need more. What we want is to be able to see the liquid once it's all mixed up. That's how much you want in there, because really you're marinating the tomatoes and mozzarella with the olive oil and balsamic. So you want enough in there to marinate. But the juice of the tomato comes out so nice. So we definitely want at least 2 more, probably more. 1, 2. I'm going to do 3 of each. 3. Some of this depends on how juicy your tomatoes are. You may have to add more or less. You want to do about the same amount of olive oil as you do balsamic. 2, 3. And you're going to include some of this marinade in each ramekin so that when you take a spoon and put it on top of your crusty bread, that marinade soaks into the bread a little bit. That's the joy of eating this. We need more basil, I can already tell. There is not enough. Look at that. We'll taste it and you're probably going to find we need more salt. Oh yeah. That's just pretty, isn't it? Add a little more salt now. So far we're at about 5 tablespoons each of balsamic and olive oil. The spices themselves, like most of the other things I make, it's to taste. So I will put about a starting point and you can adjust it based on what you like or don't like. See that gorgeous brown dressing in there? See that?
Yeah.
Mixed in with tomato. Oh my God, that's where the flavor is. Cameraman, would you like to try a bite?
Sure.
The flavors of this will get a little bit stronger as it marinates. But what you want to taste it is to get a little bit of the dressing, a little bit of the mozzarella. This is what you're going to pile onto your crostini. Okay, try a bite. No. So what does it need? I'm going to try a bite too.
Well, I don't know.
Does it need anything?
I'm not sure.
Let me see. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so. I don't think it needs anything.
Me either. We're going to cover it over. We're going to see how I'm kind of pushing the mozzarella and the tomatoes. I'm kind of pushing those down flat. That's because I want them down into the dressing a little bit to let it marinate while we cut up our fruit and bread. That's all we want to do to it. Cover it over and let it sit while we get everything else ready. The longer it sits, the better it is because the balsamic and olive oil sink in with the tomatoes and the cheese and the spices, and it's just, it's good, isn't it? Yeah. It's a nice fresh meal. Okay, these both are organic. There's an organic orange and an organic honeydew melon. And you can see how beaten up this honeydew melon is. I love that. You should buy ugly fruit at the store. I got these from that food rescue company that I've talked about before. There are several. And what they do is they rescue stuff that isn't going to end up in the grocery store, because for some reason grocery stores think people only buy pretty food there. It is not a beauty contest. It's not. Because when you cut it open, it's gorgeous. And sometimes this beaten up fruit tastes so much better than anything you would find that is all pristine in the grocery store. So this orange is perfect. See how it's a little dented? Now, wait, I'll open it up for you and you'll see. Here. This, yeah. And this, look at that. In there. That's just beautiful. So we're going to cut this in half. And then I'm going to cut these beautiful slices. Here, try a slice of orange and tell me what you think.
Yep.
These tend to be even more ripe and wonderful than what I find in the grocery store. Like they just came out of somebody's orchard.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Is it sweet?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, don't judge a fruit by its cover. Because inside there, that's where the magic is, right there. Look at that. So I'm going to put these on here. Okay, let me scoop these off. All right, we've got our bruschetta made. We've got our fruit cut up. So now we go about an inch. That's a crostini. So each inch, crostini. And this will get brushed lightly with a little olive oil and go in the oven for about 6 to 8 minutes at 385. So I have a couple tablespoons of olive oil here, and you don't need much. You don't want to make them soggy. But all I'm really going to do is lightly brush across the top of these, just to have little bits of olive oil on them before they go in the oven to toast. And this is our base for our bruschetta. And we will pile spoonfuls on top of it. And it is so good. Go. So you can see the little bits of olive oil on top of the bread. And it's really just to make it nice in the oven without drying it out. Okay, so these are the wheat baguette crostinis, and you can hear them.
Yep.
See how they're a little crusty?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how you want them. So we're going to pile these up. This is the baguette. And because these are smaller and this is a crustier bread, this only took about 5 minutes, whereas these took 7. So keep an eye on your bread so you don't make it too well done. And then we'll move all this over here. All right. So there's 3 of us eating bruschetta tonight. I'm going to remove some of it with the dressing into these ramekins, and then we will use that with our crusty bread to spoon it onto it. So Let me just stir it one more time and look at how gorgeous that is. It's all been marinating for a little while together. That's exactly what we wanted because we want that flavor all through it. Okay. You can always add more dressing later. If you decide there isn't enough with the leftovers, you can add some more balsamic olive oil and spices to it and put it in the fridge. The longer you leave it, the stronger it gets. So we'll do this. Add some more. And we can always come back for some more later. Let me try to make this spread out a little bit. Isn't that pretty? Thank you for joining me in Oma's Kitchen. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll upload more tasty videos soon, and a special shout out to Moon Pie and Lil Bit. Till next time.